still hang out, do whatever. But my name's Trina Nishimura. I'm a voice actor. I don't think I need the microphone. So, you know, we're just hanging out. It's a Trina Nishimura Q&A. So hopefully you have some Q's and hopefully I have some A's. But yeah, so I'm a voice actor. I've been voice acting for almost 20 years now. You might know me from Mikasa Ackerman in Attack on Titan, or Jiro from My Hero Academia, Lanfan from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Makase Kurisu from Steins Gate. Yeah, I've done over 200 roles, so there's a lot. You can Google me if you want. Buy me a drink. And yeah, I'm based out of Texas. I've been an actor my whole life. And I'm just really incredibly lucky and fortunate, and hashtag blessed, you guys. So yeah, that's kind of my shtick, my rundown. And yeah, if you guys don't have questions, then I'll just babble. I'm very good at talking. It's kind of my thing. Does anyone have a question? Oh, yes.
What's the most emotional scene you've recorded so far?
Ever?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Or top 5 if you can't
sure.
pick one.
I once recorded a show called, I was recorded in a show called, oh, what was that show called? Yeah, I don't remember the name of the show. It was about 15 years ago, so. I guess one of the more emotional, Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan has a lot of emotional scenes. But I think the most emotional show that really rocked me as a human and a person, because I am a person, was probably Steins Gate. Steins Gate was really charged emotionally. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
It's not a lighthearted anime, and it is not something that's like, oh, this is a happy one. It takes a little while to get into because there is so much information that's actually fact-based, but it's also beautifully written. The first season, J. Michael Tatum and Patrick Seitz wrote, and it is lovely. There are lots of Easter eggs from Doctor Who and Star Trek and all these other things. But yeah, Kurisu had a very traumatic past, and she had a lot going on, and so it was definitely one of those, like, when I'd get home, my partner would be like, my partner would text and be like, so is it the hard show today? And if I was like, it's Steins Gate, then he'd be like, oh, so tacos or pizza? What is it? And then he'd always make sure I had like a pizza or tacos or some comfort noms when I got home. It was really, so I mean, it was hard, but it was also, I gained a lot of weight. So there was a lot of crying. But yeah, so that's, I think, the most challenging. Speed Grapher, that's what it was called, Speed Grapher. But yeah, she was really messed up too. So other questions? Yes, in the front row there.
You played Mari in the first 3 Rebuild movies.
Yes.
Do you know what her deal is? Because they haven't bothered to explain it yet.
Do I know what her deal is?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what her deal is. I know that she's insane and she sings a lot. Hello.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm working for the event. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, dude. Obviously, like, it's fine. People take pictures all the time.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I just feel like I should, like, acknowledge that you're standing there, because that's the nice thing to do, and not just be like, yeah, get my good side.
I was worried for a second when you stopped. You were gonna be like, yeah, no picture.
No, you're
I was
fine.
like, oh, snap.
It's kind of like the deal, right? Like, people call, or not people, do you guys know who Chris Sabat is?
Yes.
Yeah, I love him. He's a dear friend. But he calls it the people zoo. Conventions are like the people zoo. So it's fine, you know. You just take pictures of the monkeys, you take pictures of the actors. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Yes, I do not know what Mari's deal is. I know that she's insane. I know that she sings a lot. And I wish I knew, but I don't. Sorry.
There was some screaming at the end of the second one that is some of the best acting I've ever heard.
Oh, thanks.
What show?
Evangelion, the Rebuild movies. Yeah, I screamed a lot with her. So I don't know if you know how a microphone works, but there's a diaphragm in a microphone and it vibrates, right? And that's what records. But in that first scene that she's in, the just effing da hi, that scream.
Oh.
I came like 1 decibel away from breaking the diaphragm. It's like, it's my proudest moment ever.
When do you keep it as a trophy?
The microphone itself.
Yeah, if you break it, you keep it as a trophy.
Oh my God, I totally would have. I would have. Yeah. I did the scream, and then the engineers named Stephen Hoff and Mike McFarland were out in the booth or in the room, and I did the scream, and then like I turned to them, and they were both like, "What's wrong?" And they were like, "Well, you're done for the day," and you almost broke a microphone. I was like, "That's amazing!" And they're like, "Stop talking, just go home." But yeah, being able to scream like that is incredibly cathartic for me, and I just save all of my stuff in my stomach, and then it just comes out. So yeah, thank you for that. That was a very nice compliment, and I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Were you a fan of anime like before, or
Before I started acting in it?
or just a fan of anime in general?
Oh, sure. So I actually found anime a bit later in life. My older brother was a big fan of anime, but because he was my older brother, I was like, "No, Seth, I don't watch anime. I don't do anything you do because I'm different." But then I went to college, and there was this boy that I liked, and he was like, "Oh, have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop?" I was like, "Of course I have. I love Cowboy Bebop. I've seen all of it. I love Cowboy Bebop. It's amazing. Yeah, let's talk about Cowboy Bebop." And so I went to this ancient place that holds records called Blockbuster. I rented all of Cowboy Bebop, and I fell in love with anime. And then I watched Samurai Champloo. That was my second, and I love those shows. When I first got to meet Steve Bloom, I like almost pooped myself. I was so excited. Like I called my brother. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm signing next to Steve Bloom." He was like, "No, you're not." I was like, "Look at him." It was so cool. I like snuck a picture. Now I'm friends with Steve. But yeah, it was something I found later in life. But I mean, they're just cartoons, and I've always loved cartoons. Like, I didn't consider Miyazaki's films anime, I just considered them cartoons. So, in that respect, I guess I've always loved anime, but yeah, I certainly became more of a fan later in life. Yes, my dear.
Just an abstract question, but it could be kind of related or just in general for travel. But is there a place that you really love to go to, or you would want to go to that you have not visited yet?
Japan.
Yes.
I've never been to Japan. I'm half Japanese. My partner and I owned a Japanese restaurant for a little bit. And it seems counterintuitive that we haven't been. Yeah, I would love to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. But life happens and you're busy, and I don't think, I know. I haven't been on a vacation in at least 10 years. So someday there'll be time, which is something that no one should say. You should make time. But, yeah, I don't know. I would love to go to Japan. I would love to. This is going to sound real hokey, but I'm kind of hokey. I'm emotional, and that's okay. I was raised in Amarillo, Texas, and I have a lot of family in San Angelo, Texas. And I know it's not a terribly romantic destination, but I really want to go home to San Angelo. I haven't been in maybe 6 years because I haven't had time. But I'd like to go home and just be there for a minute. Yeah. So San Angelo, Texas, and Tokyo. That's where I'd like to go.
I'm gonna go next year for my 10-year wedding anniversary.
Oh wow! Congratulations. Where are you gonna go in Japan?
We still gotta figure out what we figured fall time, and we were gonna try to do a month, and like, we might get homesick and miss the cats, so maybe just like 2 weeks. But we want to do like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto.
Wow.
Sort of.
Yeah, that's
Hiroshima.
awesome. That's super cool. I'm very jealous.
I will let you know.
Please do. Yeah, I've always, this is crazy. I've always wanted to see the monkeys.
Oh, yeah,
The
the
monkeys in
Japanese
the snow
yeah.
and the like
Yeah,
tubs.
we want to do that too.
I've always wanted to see those freaking monkeys. And
Yeah, we never went on a honeymoon. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations. And did you have a question, Pumpkin?
Yeah, so I went to school for acting,
Oh.
and I am currently getting my way into the business and whatever. But
Sure.
it's just so I'm backstage and I'm like talking to some of my actor friends, but I was wondering is there anything special or specifically getting into anime dubbing?
Anime dubbing, it's a challenge, right? Because it's different for everyone. There's no, I have yet to meet two actors that got in the same way, like got into this world the same way. But as far as anime dubbing specifically, one of the big things is, you gotta live where the work is, right? It's a little different now, post-pandemic. A lot of people can record from their homes, but some studios don't want you to. Some studios want you to be in the studio. So live where the work is a big part of it. Also, a lot of dubbing is about matching, right? Like matching, because you're not only, like it's already it's already drawn and it's pre-laid, right? And so everything's already animated, so you have to, perform, right? Because you're an actor, that's the first job. And then you also have to make sure that your choices that you're making for that line fit within the mouth movements, right? So that's a little bit challenging, but a lot of people have a musical background, or personally have a dance background. So timing and rhythm is really important. So I would definitely recommend, being aware. I would recommend being aware of that. And it's a challenge. There's work everywhere, right? Like there's voiceover work here, there's voiceover work in San Angelo, Texas, so being in theaters is definitely a leap ahead. Because a lot of people are like, I want to be a voice actor. It sounds fun. I can do Mickey Mouse. It's like everyone can do Mickey Mouse. That doesn't mean anything. What means something is that you're an actor. And meeting people in this market, and I'm sure you already have met other actors who can tell you, who the good agents are here, etc. ad nauseum. So you're doing everything right. But there isn't one direct way. Do you have an agent already?
Not yet, no.
I would definitely recommend, because most auditions now are sent out to agencies. So if you have an agent, make a demo. A demo is like your business card for voice actors, right? And so having a good demo is really important. I will say, this is really important. As far as demos go, avoid stereotypical things. Right? There's a person that I know who I used to act with when I was younger, and he did a demo and sent it to me, and it was incredibly racist. And like, I was like, you can't, bro. Like, that's not what we're doing. And like, it was just like, oh, this is my Valley accent, and this is my Goofy accent, and this is my Mickey Mouse, and this is my, other racial stereotypical things, and I was like, nah, man, like that's not what you do. So I would avoid that. Yes.
I kind of have like a two-part
Okay.
question, but the really quick. The first one is that when you found like you got the call, like you go and be the dub voice for Musa in Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Did you expect like Attack on Titan to blow up as like quick as it did? Like, did you like expect kind of like that fandom and like that rise and that surgency? Were you expecting that?
No. People frequently say like, oh my gosh, this show's gonna be huge. This show's gonna be a big deal. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh, I hope so. That'd be cool. Yeah. But there's no guarantee, right? So we did the first season of Attack on Titan, and then there was a big break. 4 years of a big break. And then we did, in that time, we also did a video game and Attack on Titan Junior High. But yeah, it's been surreal. This is the longest I've ever been with a character. It's been almost 10 years now. I've made, lifelong friends. Bryce Pappenbrook, who plays Aaron, he and I didn't know each other before Attack on Titan, and now we have literally traveled the world together. And he was married, but he didn't have kids at the beginning, and I think that was right after I left my second ex-fiance. So I was in a different place, he was in a different place, and in that time, like, I've met the love of my life and my partner, We opened a restaurant, Bryce has had 3 kids, you know, like everything's just happened, and I think that's what I'm most grateful for, is the relationships that I've made and the people that I've met, and I'm incredibly humbled and grateful. I'm always surprised when I come to a convention and people are like, I want to meet you, or their dresses, and he looks beautiful, by the way. It's always surprising to me, because I'm just a people, you know, I poop, you poop, everyone poops. Like that, so it's always very shocking to me, but yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm flabbergasted and blown away every time. I also, this part I freaking love. So I was vulnerability. I hope everyone's ready. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, right? And especially like in middle school and high school. But now, those same motherfuckers are contacting me and they're like, oh my God, can I get an autograph? And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, absolutely you can. I will totally send your children autograph things, and because I want them to know that they are nice people, even though you made fun of my last name and other things, like, I am going to be a bigger person, and that I love. That's been really cool. So that's not really what your question was.
That's good though. I appreciate you sharing that.
I'm a babbler, man. Like, I will babble. But did you have a second part?
Yeah, so my second part, now this is kind of stupid. This is more so for the convention. Am I able to get a picture of, like, yes, without your mask on?
Oh,
Am I able to
sure.
just get a quick shot? Because, like, you have your mask on, these won't be on the website, so is that okay if I get a picture of, like, without the mask on real quick?
Yeah.
Just like you could just answer another question if you want to, but I just was wondering if I could get a picture of it, like you engaging with the audience.
Yeah.
Just in one photo.
Yeah. People do.
I guess while I got you, just one last question. Did without doing any spoilers, because this is the last season of Attack on Titan, like, are you gonna miss it? Like,
Of course.
Yeah.
I love Mikasa. I think she's a brilliant character, and she's been really fun.
Like, have you guys wrapped? Like, is it wrapped up now? Or do you guys still have to do part 2? Because I know they're doing a break in part 2 for this season.
The final season of Attack on Titan Part 3, Part 1 will be out in March. I have signed so many things.
NDAs are like, you've got a lot of...
My lawyer, the final season of Attack on Titan Part 3, Part 1 will be out in March. So...
I asked the question that everyone really wanted to know. Wait for that part 2, or is it better?
Other questions? Yes.
You touched on it before. You said you like Mikasa, but what's your favorite line from Steins Gate?
From Steins Gate?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm not gonna say sorry. Whoops.
Oh no, you're
Some-
okay. Yeah, they can get confusing. My favorite line from Steins Gate. Oh, my favorite line from Steins Gate is it's pretty simple, but it's my name is not Christina. Because I love her. I just think she's so crazy. Oh, thanks guys. Other questions? Yes.
Are there any silly little anecdotes that have always stuck with you over the course of your career?
Silly little anecdotes that have stuck with me over the course of my career. Yeah, there's a lot. So when I started voice acting, I was 20, I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old when I started voice acting, and yeah, a lot of the voice actors that I know, like, we kind of grew up together, you know, like I'm gonna be 40 this year, and yeah, I've known these people since we were making poor choices in our 20s. So I have a lot of anecdotes. There was one time, and they'll remain nameless, but there was this one time where we were all out and we had gone to a party that was close to the old studio, and somebody decided that we had to get back into the studio. We had to. The bottom floor of that building was a bank, and Funimation was on 2 of the floors above the bank. And this person, who shall remain unnamed, decided that it would be a brilliant idea if we broke into the building. And we were all like, yes, that is a great idea. ashtray was thrown at the door, like one of those standing ones.
Oh my god.
Because this person was like, I can break the window, and we were like, great idea. Yeah, it didn't break because it was a bank, and also horrible choices that I do not endorse. Don't try and break into a bank. Public service announcement. Other questions? That was.
So let me get this straight. Don't be racist on your demo.
No.
And don't break it to a bank.
Don't break it. See? Life lessons with Trina Nishimura. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, are you allowed to give any information on what exactly happened between the theatrical release of the third rebuild Evangelion film and the Blu-ray, DVD?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I signed anything. I don't know what happened. I am aware that the property was sold to another studio. I'm aware that they redubbed all 4 movies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
From the Funimation Blu-ray theatrical one.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what I'm supposed to say to that question. So I'm just not going to say anything. But I like the question. Other questions? Yes, no. Yes, no. Okay, yes.
Out of all of your characters that you voiced, which one is more like you in personality?
Out of all the characters that I voiced, which one is the most like me personality-wise? I don't know. I think I'm an amalgamation of all of them at different times, you know? I think maybe the closest would be Jiro from My Hero. She has a lot of leather jackets. I have a lot of leather jackets. She's a little punk rock. I like to consider myself a little punk rock. She's loyal to her friends, and she's, pretty reserved until she's around her friends. And yeah, I think maybe Jiro, but then I'm not a brilliant scientist or anything, but Makase is pretty similar as well from Steins Gate. Yeah, so I'm not sure. They're all versions of me, but there's not, when people describe themselves or when I think of myself, I don't think of myself as like just one thing. Like I'm different things at different times, and that's okay. I can be both and. So yeah, I don't know, but that's an excellent question. Also, I love your hair. Other questions? Yes.
I remembered you were Akko in.
So you thought there was never a girl?
Yeah,
in
that
it?
one. The
Yeah.
title is too long, but
It's a very long title.
Yeah, it made me think. Are those kinds of shows where there's a lot of fan service a little bit weird to do? at all?
Fan service? Here's the thing about fan service, right? I don't think that bodies are inherently bad. I don't think that sex or sexuality is inherently bad. I think that they're, I don't know if did you ever see Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Like, is Jessica
correct.
Rabbit
Yeah.
fan service, or is she just
Vaguely, I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen
Oh, so there's this character named Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit that I watched when I was a kid, and she has this ridiculous body that's like completely impossible to achieve without, but like, I think if there's fan service, or like if people are like, if there's boobs or butts, like whatever, I have boobs and a butt. Everyone has a butt. Not everyone, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me as long as it's not inappropriate. Like, if it's a minor, then I don't want to do that show, right? But if it's like, and Akko was a high schooler, and her friend was also a high schooler.
Yeah.
If it was like inappropriate, like she's a minor and this is a grown,
Right, yeah.
like, yeah, hard. Sorry.
Those do exist,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's not my jam. But like, whatever. Like everybody goes through high school and is like, I don't know what I'm doing with my body, and has crushes and has, I don't know about you guys, but I had some fun in high school. Oh, that was a good time. That was my first ex-fiance. He was sweet. Yeah. So that's not what you asked. Yeah. So I don't mind it. I think that there's a time and place for all art, and as long as it's not hurting somebody, then do what you want to do.
And just to, I guess, follow up, you don't think it's particularly demeaning? Because I was at the Women in Anime thing, and there was some conversation about how that's kind of demeaning to women because it's sort of a male gaze kind of thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to whatever opinion they have, right? But it goes both ways, right? And I think that, like, that's one of the reasons I really love Attack on Titan, right? In Attack on Titan, I play a female character, but she's the strongest in the group, right? Yeah. And 20 years ago, that couldn't have happened unless she had, like, she couldn't be the strongest, right? She could be the smartest, but she couldn't be the strongest. But it's a double-edged sword, right? So, like, to be a woman, you have to be X, Y, or Z. But then to be a man in video games or in all media, like all of Marvel and DC, like, to be a man, you have to have an 8-pack and this incredibly unattainable body that's like ridiculous, right? But that's not, like, it's not what a man is, and that's not what a woman is. A man or a woman is whatever that person decides. And so I mean, like, as far as like what other people think, like, do you, man? But like for me, like, if you have boobs and a butt, that's cool. If you don't have boobs and a butt, that's cool. Like, I don't care. Like, do what you want to do. Just don't hurt anybody else and live your life, personally. But in Attack on Titan, like, there's a male character that cries a lot. Armin cries a lot. And like, in 20 years ago, there couldn't be a lead male character that cried or had emotion, you know? And similarly, 10 years ago, you know, there's a character in Attack on Titan, and it was one of the first whose gender wasn't assigned, and that was 10 years ago, which was really progressive then. So I think that that's really neat, and I think that the shift away from defining people by body parts is really interesting. But if you have a hypersexualized character, like, do you? Like, I love Mineta. I think he's adorable. Everybody hates that I love Mineta, but Mineta's voiced by my best friend. And also, I don't know if you've ever known a little boy, but they like boobs and butts. They like them a lot. So I think they're cute, but not sure if that was your question. I guess that's the theme of this life lessons with Trina Nishimura. Not sure it was your question. Other questions that I won't answer? Yes, Mikasa. Do I ever buy what?
Like any merchandise.
Oh, merch? Sometimes. I try really hard not to, because I try really hard not to because I don't want my life to be a shrine to me. You know, you know, everybody's allowed to do whatever they want. I don't care. But like, I don't want to go into my house and be like, this is me, and this is me, this is my me room, you know. I also don't want to dedicate a whole room to a bunch of stuff, and I try to Marie Kondo as much as I can, you know, because I have hoarding genes in my body, so I don't want it to turn into like me. Also, I don't think that my stepson would like that very much. Like, he's very sweet and he's wonderful, but he's also, you know, he's a teenage boy. I don't know. But now I kind of want to because I think it would really. I don't know. Yeah, I do buy some merch that I try to only buy things that are functional, right? Like clothes. Like, I can wear a sweatshirt, sure. Like, that makes sense to me. But like, as far as like figurines and things like that, like I have some pops, but pops are dangerous, man. Like, once you start, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get like one pop, just like one. And then I was like, oh no, New York Comic Con exclusive, a Kit Bull, I need it. And then you blink and you have a collection of pops that's like out of control. It is out of control. Like, and I get them because I'm like, oh, this is my friend Bryce. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Oh, this is my friend Brina. Boop, boop, boop. Like, in our restaurant, we had like I snuck little pops around the restaurant. Like, I took them out of the box because I was an idiot. But I'd be like, there's Brina, like hiding behind some dishes. But I love because it's like they're my people. So that I guess I collect merch from my friends for my friends. But I don't collect a lot of like Trina stuff because I feel like it's narcissistic and this is already narcissistic enough. Like, come and hear me speak. You know, like, what are you? I don't know, man. So here we are. Yes.
What is your favorite pop that you have?
My favorite pop that I have, Kitbull. Do you know who Kitbull
Yes,
is?
it does.
Kitbull from Pixar.
Yes.
It was a short, and there's like the pit bull and the little kitten.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, they're named Kitbull.
I didn't know there was a pop of that.
Oh my God, it is so cute too. There's and he has like the little scratches on his little baby
Yes.
face.
I gotta look it up.
Oh, it's
It's
so
so
cute.
cute.
I love Kitbull. I love all Pixar shorts. Pixar shorts are my favorite. Do you have pops?
Yeah, I actually, we ended up starting a pop collection like last year, and now we have so many.
It's so
And
addictive.
it's sad because we even bought some pops to get them like signed.
Yeah.
My next question is, so I know your autograph thing is yesterday and also tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any today by chance?
Yeah, I'm just signing at the table all day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, easy
Do you know
breezy.
where your table is?
Yes, it is on the 3rd floor
Uh-huh.
in the dealer's room.
In the back.
In the back. Thank you.
Yep.
I was like, I can walk you there. I don't know. I don't understand those people that inherently know like where north, east, south, and west
No,
are.
I can't do that.
Yeah, like
can't
I don't even
either.
know street names. I'm like, go up to the go up to the taco place, not the taco place in the laundromat, but the taco place in the gas station. Take a left, and when you get to the blue house,
Yeah.
you take a right.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to explain to my partner how to get to Brina's house, and he was like, so what street is she on? I was like, oh, you just go to that one light after the roundabout, and you turn right, and then go down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, and turn right. And he was like, can you just give me your address? And I was like, oh yeah. That's probably smarter. So I don't know. It's either in the north, east, south, or west corner of the building. And there's a lot of people in the line, and I will be there behind my glass at the People Zoo. You can find my enclosure.
Is it where like all the stalls and stuff are? Like where people are buying like
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so like if you keep going past all the vendors,
Yeah.
on the first, like, you go up the escalators, and then you keep just going straight back, and then they're right there.
See, people helping people.
I'm bad with directions, so.
It is confusing.
Yeah, it's
I get lost at all conventions.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly fortunate to go to a lot of People Zoos, but I frequently like forget where I am.
Yeah.
I was in Sacramento a few weeks ago with my sister, and she was like, in the Seattle airport, and I was like, no, we're in Sacramento. And she was like, I know, I was just commenting on Seattle's airport. And I was like, oh, I thought you were confused. And she was like, no, that's just your weird friends. All right, yeah. I was talking to Brina yesterday, and she was like, where are you? And I was like, I am in Cleveland. And she was like, Cleveland? And I was like, uh-huh. And she was like, Ohio? I was like, no, Cleveland. And she was like, you're not in Cleveland. And I was like, yes, I am. And she was like, put Senator Nicholas on. And I was like, Michael, we're in Cleveland. She was like, no, we're not. I was like, I'm sorry. No, we're not. We're in Columbus. Still Ohio, though. So I got one thing, right? It's a weird world. I woke up last night and I was like, where am I? Like I didn't recognize anything, and I was like, oh, right. Hotel room. But that's just my weird life. It's Gandalf. Sorry. Yes.
Just speaking of like street signs and stuff, I noticed there was an Ackerman street sign.
There's an Ackerman street sign here in Columbus?
Yeah.
Yep.
Stop
Ackerman
it.
Road, I think, yeah.
I'm gonna steal that. Don't record that.
Wait, were you joking when you said that or not? I can't tell when people are joking or
Oh no,
not.
I was joking. I'm not very good at stealing things. I'm not very good at lying. I'm not very good at a lot of dishonest things. Like I panic myself. apparently, according to my old story, I used to be much more down to break the law, but no, I was joking, because that's a federal crime, and I'm too little for prison. For sure. But that's cool. I would love to see that. Does anyone have any other questions? Yes, my dear.
So how did you cast My Hero Academia Jessica be able to release the dub the same day as the sub at one point?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
How you made it possible to release the My Hero dub the same day as the sub?
Oh, I see. Yeah, so the SimulDubs, right? The simultaneous releases, those are crazy. It didn't used to be like this. It used to be very different. But that's what happens when you're old and you do something for a long time, because the only constant is change. So yeah, now the property, right, the show itself, the episode itself, right, is sent from Japan to America, and then they usually get the show like on a Wednesday. I don't know why it's Wednesday, but it always falls on Wednesday. So they usually get the show, or maybe that's not true. I'm not sure what day it shows up, but I know that on Wednesdays the studio calls you and says how long they need you for the next week. So the Japanese send over the property, right? Which is the M&E, the music and effects, the actual video, and then the text, right? The script. That script is translated in-house to English. The adaptive script writers take that English translation and rewrite the script so that it makes more sense to an American audience or an English-speaking audience, and adapt whatever things that need to be kind of tweaked, but typically it's pretty close. And then on Wednesdays, they call or email and they say, Trina, we need you for 9 hours this week. And then you have between Wednesday and the following Tuesday to record the episode. And then after all of the actors are recorded, the director watches it one more time through. And then it goes to the mixers. And the mixers are people that adjust like the levels of the M&E and the music and the people talking, etc. They mix and master it to the final thing, and then the director watches it again for the mix review, and then it's released. It all happens really, really quickly. That process used to take, for one episode, that process used to take about 3 weeks.
Wow.
But now it takes, and we don't work on Sundays or Saturdays, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So that's 5 days. In 5 days, it's turned around. It's pretty intense.
Okay, wait, he also asked like some of them are like done like the same day as the sub, or and then some of them are like 3 weeks earlier. How come some of them are done the same day?
Oh, I see. Yeah, so some of them, it depends on the property, it depends on the studio, it depends on a lot of choices that are made by people that wear suits and things and have offices. I just show up and speak into the magic can. So I don't know, but I'm sure somebody does. I bet Senator Nicholas would know
Yeah, he
that.
probably knows.
You should ask Senator Nicholas, he'll know why. But if you want to hear a funny voice, I'm a gal. Yes.
Have you ever met your sub counterpart?
Yes, I met Yui, who plays Mikasa in, I keep pointing to your dresses. I met Yui, who plays Mikasa at Anime Expo about like 7 years ago. She is a delight. She's super cute and very small and very nice. And we talked a bit, and she was excited because I'm half Japanese, and she thought I would speak Japanese, but I was like, oh, but sometimes America's an so that would have been treason for my family. No, it's fine. Yeah, my family was interned, and so, yeah, that's what happens, right? America. Yeah. My family was interned, but it actually ended up being really cool because my grandparents actually met and married in the internment camp, which is really sweet. And George Takei was also in that same internment camp, and he probably went to my grandparents' wedding, which was cool, and we talked about, and that's why I got to meet George Takei, which was cool, and we talked about, and he's a brilliant man and very, very sweet, and I didn't think that he would want to meet me, but he did. And then he was like, Trina, I'm writing a show. It's called Allegiance.
I want you to come to the Broadway debut. I was like, okay, George Takei. Sure, you'll remember me. And then a few months later, my agent got a call and he was like, I'd like Trina to come to New York. And I did. And I went and saw the show and it was beautiful and amazing. And then we went to the back door, backstage afterwards, and he made a beeline for me because I was just sobbing. It was such a beautiful musical. And he made this beeline for me and he was like, I've told our story. It was, I mean, he's just the nicest man. It's so nice. Like, see, I want to go to that people zoo. Like, that's the people zoo I want to go to. But yeah. He's amazing and lovely and wonderful. And that wasn't your question. But what was your question?
It was about the sub counterpart.
Right, Yui. I met Yui. She's wonderful and lovely and adorable, and she gave me this cute little bag, and then I didn't have anything for her, so I went out and bought like 3 dozen cupcakes, and I was like, I'm sorry, because food is my love language. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's my question. So you said you have ballet background.
Mm-hmm.
Have you also ever done music, like either chorus or choral or band or things like that?
No, I haven't. So I did sing, right? I did musical theater. But yeah, I liked dancing a lot. That was really special. But I always aspire to be better. But then I'm like, am I old? Am I too old to learn guitar?
No,
like I feel like it's past, you know.
No,
But I also, you know, I'm a sucker for music. Like all of my exes were musicians. Date the drummers and the bassists. They're the best. Lead singers, not great. Not great, you guys. But drummers and bassists, whew. No, I haven't, but I'd like to. Or I just date them. Other questions?
There was actually a show that just aired called Bocchi the Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody hear that?
Yeah.
But there was a line in there that says the number 1 rule is don't date bassists.
Oh no, bassists are great. They have the best rhythm. Did you have a question?
Oh, I was just kind of a joke. I was gonna say, what if, you know, the drummer is the singer, like Phil Collins?
Well, you know, that's fine. It's just it's the lead. There's tape in my hair. I just realized I don't know how tape got in my hair.
If they're not carrying any equipment in.
Well, like that's the great thing about drummers, right? They also have like great arms because they're lifting drums all the time, and they have excellent rhythm, and they're funny. There's tape in my hair. This is so weird. That's so weird. I'm sorry. Yes. So drummers, drummers and bassists. I dated a lead singer one time. He was nice. Never again. Yes.
In general, what is the difference between the new like SimulDubs, like in your on the SimulDubs is the old way of like after the show's finished you dub it, and like what are the major differences and which do you prefer?
The major difference is the turnaround time. It's just way faster. It's so much faster. But it doesn't. I mean, that doesn't compromise the quality of the work. I don't believe. So when season 1 of Attack on Titan aired, we were not simuldubbing, right? Like we got the whole property, we did the whole property. But now it's simuldub, and I don't think that the work has suffered. It seems like people still like it. I mean, you're wearing the shirt, so. Yeah. So I think just the speed and the, that's also why I don't travel, is because you can't leave. I have to be there all the time. So yeah. I mean, I guess I travel on the weekends for People Zoos. Yeah.
Just a production question, I guess.
Okay.
So, when it's SimulDub, you do episode by episode?
Yes.
But when you receive the whole season,
Yes.
do you do the whole season in one go, or do you still do episode by episode?
Typically, so let's say I'm girl A in the show. And girl A is in the first episode for 5 minutes. She's in the second episode for 2 minutes. She's in the third episode for 40 minutes. So that's a different amount of time, right? So if they have the whole block, then they're gonna be like, hey, we have, I'm just gonna put a number on it. We have 4 hours for you to record, right? So I can go in on
one day and do episode 1, 2, and 3 all at once in 4 hours, right? But if it's episode by episode, like SimulDubs, then it'll be like, hey, you have 2 minutes in episode 1. So this week we need you to come in for an hour. And then the next week, okay, you have 5 minutes in episode 1. So this week we need you to come in for an hour. And then the third episode, oh, now we need you for 3 hours, right? So you're working more, but it's not, you're going back and forth a lot, but it's not like you can just knock it all out in one go. I prefer to knock it all out in one go, but nobody asked me. Yes.
You mentioned like not being able to travel because you have to stay home to do the recordings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now things sort of have changed because of like remote recording.
Mm-hmm.
Could you hypothetically travel and then like, you know, in a hotel closet or whatever, like do a session or something?
Yeah, so there are some studios and some things that you can do in that way, but typically the bigger studios and the bigger properties and things like that, it's just not the quality that they need.
Got it.
So if hypothetically I was in Australia and then the studio would find a similar studio that has the right whatever, and they'll be like, oh my god, you have to whatever. But that's like emergency only sort of situation. That has only happened to me once in Australia. Yes.
What makes you excited to audition for
I'm sorry, one more time, babe.
What makes you excited to audition for a particular part? So when you're reading a script for the first
Oh, yeah. I have to say, your coat is so cute. So yeah, I mean, auditioning for anything is exciting for me. I like the process of like breaking down a character, figuring out what their motivations are, delving into that world, and then forgetting it immediately. Because I don't know if you know this, but like I think I probably do at least 5 to 10 auditions a week. And if I cast one, or I'm cast in one, that's a successful month. So 1 out of 40. So I have to forget them immediately. But it's like, you know, it's just it's the thing that I've done my whole life. I've been acting since I was 9. So for me, it's really fun, and it's always exciting to be like, oh, who do I get to be today? Even if it's, you know, I'm only gonna get to be this person for this audition, like it's still fun for me to think about other people and pretend to be somebody else. And also dollar bills. Dollar bills excite me, so that's helpful. Other questions? Yeah.
It's something I've struggled with as an actor. How do you, so you go out and you pretend to be other people, how do you return back to Trina?
That takes a lot of time, especially if it's a really hard role, like Steins Gate or, I keep pointing at you. Yeah, it takes me a while. It's something that I've struggled with my whole life, but it helps to have a partner that understands, and it also helps to have people in my life that understand. Like if I do a scene that I can't get back from, like if I can't remember, like I'm not in a world where people are giant and genitalless and eat people, like that's not real. Or if I get so emotional that like I can't come back, then I typically I either talk to my person or Brina or Bryce or other people that are involved with the project. But you know, it also has a lot to do with having the space and the amazing people around me that understand that that's what's happening. So like with Steins Gate, because it took so long to get into the mentally emotional space of where Kurisu sat for a lot of the movie, I just cried the whole time because if you're recording, you'll like have 2 screens in front of you, and one of them has the animation and one of them has the script. And then depending on the director and depending on a lot of other things, you might go line by line, or you might record a whole scene. So this particular, but they also, you know, they have to like, after you record your line, then you take a moment and the engineer might have to stretch it or might have to move it around to make sure it fits or whatever. So there's like a break in between each line, hypothetically, depending on the director again. So for Makase, that break, if I took that break when they're like, doo, 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 then, and I stopped and I was like, oh, I'm safe. I'm safe, I'm here in a booth, nothing's bad is happening to me. Then it would take longer to get back into that headspace to do the next line, and continuity is obviously very important. So Colleen Klinkenberg directed that, and Chris George was the engineer. He's now a director and he's very talented. But I mean, even now, like, I feel like really fucked up about it. But yeah, that was, I just cried for hours and days for like a month. And that was really hard. But my partner was like, hey, you're recording the hard one today. Pizza or tacos, like, what do you need? And he's really great. But yeah, it helps to have people in your life that understand that about you, and can pull you back. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but it definitely still happens to me. I'm working on it. Apparently therapy is supposed to help. But it's good. It's good. I'm very fortunate. It's fun to play pretend, and it's fun to be somebody else for me. And I'm just really fortunate that I get to. So I try and remember that too, and that I'm safe, not actually in a dystopian world where giant genitalist monsters that are naked eat people. So that's not real. Other questions? No? I have 5 minutes left. So do you guys want to just stare at each other awkwardly, or? She's like, yes. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Did you, it's probably maybe an inappropriate question. Did you watch have you seen any of the, well, maybe I'll just put it this way. Do you watch what you actually do? Because I know, like, Adam Driver will, like, run if anybody tries to show him anything he's ever done.
Oh yeah, I don't want to. I'll watch around my scenes.
Oh.
but like if it's me, I'm like, like I can't. It goes. I think it's for me. I have perfectionism issues, and so like watching it is like, you idiot, you know. So it's really hard for me to watch. But when we are done with Titan, I have promised Bryce and Josh that we will watch it all together, the whole thing. And they were like, oh, we should do it on Twitch?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's
That'd be
Twitch. But I don't know, like, he was like, oh no, it'll be great, we'll do it on Twitch and then people can ask you questions. I was like, I'm not gonna answer questions if I'm watching the show. For the first time ever without, and I think it'll be better because they'll be there. So I'll be able to watch it without picking my performance part, but who knows? Did you have other questions? Yeah, go ahead, honey.
Alright, anime recommendations, go.
What's that?
Anime recommendations.
Anime recommendations. Steins Gate. I love Steins Gate. It takes a little bit to get into, but please watch it. It's so very good. If you have not watched the classics, I guess they're not the classics, but they're my classics. I love Cowboy Bebop so much. I love Samurai Champloo. I think it's beautiful. There is, what other? I guess people like My Hero Academia. I feel like I should be like saying like more rare things, but I just like them. They're popular for a reason. There's a show called Restaurant to Another World. That was really cute. Have you seen Food Wars?
Yes!
Oh my god, I get so hungry every time I watch those. There's also a show called Bento, about kids that fight over bento boxes that have been discounted. And I love that show, and after every session I went and got a bento box. Yeah, those are cute shows. What are your anime recommendations? Yeah, see, it's tough.
There we go, this one.
Oh, okay.
This year, so.
Yeah.
If you're a big Bebop fan, have you ever seen Carol and Tuesday?
Have I ever seen what?
Carol and Tuesday.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't.
It's it's set in the same universe. It's about two young girls who form a band on Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out. My brother and I love Cowboy Bebop so much now. We actually have a choreographed dance to the opening song.
Hey!
1, 2, 3, let's jam. Yes.
Have you heard of Wolf's Rain?
Have I heard of Wolf's Brain? Brain, no, but I will check
That's a
it
good
out.
one.
Thanks, yes.
There's a show that's very underrated but very good called Rosathon. It stars Chris Patton and Monica Rial, and it is so good. It's on High Dive.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll definitely check that out. Yes.
Alright, before you took the role of Mari,
Mhm.
have you seen Neon Genesis Evangelion before? Then?
Yes, I had seen Evangelion before. Not, I hadn't I wasn't in it, but I had seen it. Yeah, they're incredibly talented people.
Yeah, how did it feel to be part of it?
Like a dream, and really stressful, because I have perfectionism issues, and I didn't want people to not like my performance. So it was a little nerve-wracking until the movie came out, and then people were nice, and then I was like, all right, so that's nice. Yes.
Would you like to be in a Studio Ghibli?
Would I like to be in a studio? Do I have blood in my veins? Yes. Oh my God, my dream of dreams is to be like a super badass Disney princess, but not like, not like that one. A cool one, Yeah, that would be amazing. Pixar. Oh, I want to be in Pixar so bad. I want to be in Pixar so bad. I love Pixar. I'm sorry. So, if there are no, yes.
I was about to say, riding on that, what's your favorite Pixar film?
My favorite Pixar film? Top three. Okay, top three. No. Oh my God. I just love all of them. I love them all. Oh my God.
Is Ratatouille in the top 3?
I mean, yes, I love Ratatouille. Oh my God, I love Ratatouille so much. But
You said your least favorite?
I don't have any. Oh my God, like that opening scene in Up, if it does not destroy you as a human, you have no blood. Yeah, I can't pick one. I just love them so much. What's your favorite? See?
Toy Story.
Toy Story! Oh my God! Classic. Classic. 1, 2, or 3. Well, the first one, or what are we talking
Number one.
I mean, so good. So I guess that is it, unless anyone has any more questions. Yes?
You say Aaron, your Mikasa voice, or plus Ultra, Kid Extreme, plus Ultra, your own?
Oh, sure. So Mikasa sounds like, you just want me to say Aaron? I can do a whole line if you want. Beep boop, beep bop, will do. Yeah, so Mikasa sounds like this. I can do it. I'm strong. Real strong. None of you come close. I am a warrior. And then she says, oh, thank you. And then she says, Aaron, all the time. And then Jiro is go beyond plus ultra. Thank you so much, you guys. My name's Trina Nishimura. Again, you don't know that, you're in the wrong place, and I'm sorry for wasting your time. But thanks for coming out. It was really nice hanging out.